it's for Nigeria to lose, really, and I think it will come down to for Côte d'Ivoire. It wouldn't be about how good their players are, because I just think that Nigeria have got a better group of players than Côte d'Ivoire have got. What Côte d'Ivoire would have been riding on would be what Danny was speaking about, all the non-football factors, the whole lack of being here, or the whole mystery of finding themselves in the final when everything was against them for many occasions, and Danny has gone through all of that. But I think that when you put that game onto the pitch and you look at what Nigeria have got to offer against Côte d'Ivoire, it's got to be Nigeria's to lose. The one thing that Côte d'Ivoire would have for them would be that because they are hosts, they would have their fans absolutely rocking behind them. But they're coming up against a Nigerian team that throughout that team have got incredible personality. So one thing is for sure, they won't crash under that pressure of the fans. It's impossible for me to think that Nigeria will walk into that stadium, look at how those fans are behind Côte d'Ivoire, and crumble. The personality of Osimhen, it will be Trostikon, Bassi, Ajayi, name them.
Big players.
Ola Aina,
Onyeka.
I just don't see how Nigeria is a team that is going to go if it's, and to be more respectful to Ghana, if that is Team Ghana against Côte d'Ivoire in the final, and that is going to be the atmosphere, I'm scared. I'm scared because I look at our players. I think some of them are too young. They don't have that experience. Maybe some of them are not playing at so much of the highest level. They could crumble. But when you watch this Nigerian team and the personality they've got, the aspect of the fans playing their role for Côte d'Ivoire won't affect them. But more tactically, what we've seen of Côte d'Ivoire do now with the team that they've got is they're going to necessarily, I think they're going to play with a 4-3-3, and if what I think is right, this is how it's going to play out. The 4-3-3. I think Sergio Rey is going to come back to the starting lineup. I think Kosunu is going to come back to the starting lineup alongside Indika, and they are going to be at the back. You know, the back line will pick itself. In the midfield again, I think it's going to be Seri sitting at the base, Fofana and Kessie playing off him at a little advanced role. I think Samuel Adingra will start alongside Gradol in wide area, and Seb Haller, now that he's fit and completed 89 minutes of the previous game, is going to lead the attack. So that's a very much straight 4-3-3. For Nigeria, though, they've been very comfortable in that 5 at the back and 4 in the midfield and 1 body up front. It's 5-4-1 for Nigeria. But the way they operate the 4 is where I get scared for Côte d'Ivoire. Because Côte d'Ivoire has shown us that now their strength has become cross the ball to Seb Hela, and it can be dangerous.
Ever since he got back into the team.
And we saw it against Mali. Seb could have scored with a brilliant header, hit the woodwork, and didn't score. Against Congo, he had a free header, could have scored. He just took his eye off the ball and missed it. Then he scored with a cross coming into the box. So I think that is how Côte d'Ivoire their games look like. They are not creating from the midfield. They are creating from wide areas. Unfortunately for them, Nigeria have got some of the best defenders when it comes to 1v1 in the wide area. Ola Aina is brilliant in 1v1 defending. Sanusi has shown that he's brilliant in it, because you don't get past him. No many wingers have gone past him.
And when you do,
even when you do,
you're looking at
Bassi is covering. so they've got what it takes, Nigeria, for what they've shown in this tournament, to stop what threats Côte d'Ivoire has shown that they can pose. And more importantly, even if you cross the ball, Trostekong, Ajayi, and Bassi are good enough in the air to deal with those balls, unless it is so pinpoint that it's impossible to deal with the ball that comes to Seb Hela. Now that midfield 3 that they've got, Seri, Fofana, and Kessie, they are going to be coming up against Iwobi and Onyeka in midfield.
Where does Sangare fit in there?
Sangare won't start. I don't think he starts. I think Michel Seri takes, and that was one of the things. Sangare, Kessie, Fofana, very similar footballers. Seri is the very different type who gives them a bit of control, recycles more, and gets the ball going, and they've used him well in that regard. But when you play that midfield 3, Nigeria appear to have a midfield 2 in Iwobi and Onyeka. But hang on. The players who are supposed to be wingers in that Nigerian team have played as central midfielders.
Basically.
So Iwobi and Onyeka will sit as the base midfield, as maybe 2 DMs. But on top of those 2 DMs are Ademola Lookman and Moses Simon,
who are not really playing like wide players, typical wide players.
Their starting positions are not wide. Their starting positions are inverted into midfield. So that creates a midfield box. And it is that midfield box that we saw Mali use against Côte d'Ivoire. And in the first 60 minutes or so, completely suffocated Côte d'Ivoire, and Côte d'Ivoire couldn't move. Some way, someone Mane lost it. But the signs were there that Côte d'Ivoire couldn't deal with that midfield box, and that's what Nigeria poses. And for Nigeria, you mentioned it, they don't want the ball.
Nah,
they will try and give a lot of the ball to Côte d'Ivoire. Meanwhile, Côte d'Ivoire are also not good on the ball. So it will be Nigeria winning the balls off Côte d'Ivoire and quickly transitioning. As for the back four of Côte d'Ivoire, Osimhen is enough. He can handle that. Give them the
He's
press.
It's going to be
a handful. And then Ademola Lookman, Moses Simon will get in there. So on paper, I think that Nigeria have got everything set to beat Côte d'Ivoire. And Nigeria have got the personality to handle the number 12 man who will be the crowd that Côte d'Ivoire are going to put on the show. I think Nigeria, I think this is where all the luck and all the destiny talks ends for Côte d'Ivoire. Nigeria, for me.
Wow.
Barring any unforeseen circumstances, are champions.
Nigeria cannot win the AFCON.
You remember the stats I was posting yesterday? In many of the finals, like since 2006, teams in the same group have reached the final 6 times. Right.
Teams who have previously played each other in the same group. Have ended up in the final.
6 times.
Since 2006.
Since 2006.
That's a lot of times.
And guess what?
Whoa,
the team that always
That's
wins,
a lot of times.
The team that always wins the group game ends up winning the final. Apart from 2013 when it ended draw between Nigeria and Burkina Faso, and Nigeria won it in the final. The rest that won their group game ended up winning the final.
Take me through them.
How about 2006?
No, take me through them.
2006, Egypt and then Côte d'Ivoire were in the same group.
And they beat them again.
Egypt beat Côte d'Ivoire 3-1. In the final, they won via penalty shootout.
And which are the other ones?
Okay, so we can go to 2013 AFCON.
Nigeria and Burkina Faso.
In fact, let's go to 2008 in Ghana. Egypt and Cameroon were in the same group.
Yeah.
Egypt won the group game 4-2.
Yeah. I remember that. I was there in Kumasi.
Okay. In the final, Egypt won 1-0.
Right, okay.
Then in 2013, Nigeria and Burkina Faso, they were in the same group. The group game ended 1-1. But when they met in the final, Sunday Mba scored.
Yes.
Then came the 2019 AFCON. When we had Senegal versus Algeria, they were in the same group. Algeria beat Senegal 1-0 in the group stage. In the final, they beat them 1-0.
Okay.
So those are the numbers.
You just mentioned 3, yeah?
No,
that's 4.
No, there's 6. There are 6 of them.
So I was waiting for the others.
Because I'll just mention them off the cuff. I'll just mention them off the cuff. But
I mentioned 6 games, but not 6 tournaments.
No, I said since 2006.
He's mentioned 6. No, he's not
since
mentioned
2006.
Yes, he's not mentioned. He's mentioned the 06, Egypt and Côte d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
He mentioned 2013, 08. Nigeria and Burkina Faso. 08. He mentioned 2008, Egypt and Cameroon. And then he mentioned 2019.
Okay, so now
Senegal and Algeria. So it's left with 1.
1.
Okay, so this is it. The one. So let me just start. 206, right?
We've
mentioned
that
one.
All of them. Which one is
208, we've mentioned that one. 2013, we've mentioned that one.
Yes.
And 2019.
Yes.
So now we are in 2023.
Okay, so this
is so 5.
Same teams have been in.
Interesting.
But I didn't even process that.
But that is a very interesting one.
That's a very interesting one. Really.
So if that is to go by if that's anything to go by, chat and all.
No, but there's also one thing that we've not paid attention to. That since 2008, host nation has never been to the final, except this year. So
when the host nation has been to the final,
they ended up winning it. 2004,
Egypt.
Yes,
back to back. 2004, Tunisia, Egypt.
They won it. And then now.
So
that chat too.
And